You are watching Kdenlive Workshop Part 3. In today's show, we're going to talk about project and file management, and we're also going to talk about creating a slideshow. Now, if we have a look here at the KDE user base wiki, this is the Kdenlive manual at userbase.kde.org/kdenlive/manual. There's a link to this in the description below. We're at the point where we're going to talk about project and file management and the timeline. Now, something to keep in mind here, in many past episodes, I have covered many of the items here. So I'm just going to talk about some things that I haven't really covered that well on the show, maybe fill in the blanks. So let's go ahead and open up Kdenlive here. Okay, and let's go ahead and import some clips. I use these two in all of my videos, so we'll go ahead and open those. All right, now, something I did not mention in the past episode when we, arranged our workflow and we, basically set our windows up where everything is, you'll notice I have a custom menu here on the left, and all of these include presets that I made myself. So let's go ahead and show you how to make a preset and how to put that on your panel for quick and easy access. I'm just going to drag a clip here to the timeline. All right, and then let's go ahead and pick an effect. Let's go into maybe blur and hide. That'll be a fun one. So we'll add blur, and maybe in color correction, maybe we want to do something fun here. Why don't we add a sepia to this? Okay. Now, we have a blur effect going on here. That looks kind of cool. It's got a blurred, and we got a little bit of a sepia tone to make that old movie look, per se, if we wanted to have that. All right, well, we want to make this as an effect stack. To do this, you're going to click this drop down here, and you're going to create a group. And what this is immediately going to do is put the first effect into the group, as you can see here. When I collapse this, you'll notice blur is collapsing. And if we want to add sepia to this group, we just drag that onto the word effect group, and you'll see it is included here, and we can collapse and raise all these. And then, of course, you can rearrange them as well. So you can have your clips arranged however you like them. All right, now, let's go ahead and save this group. So we're going to go ahead and click the down arrow again. We're going to select to save the group, and let's name it something easy that I can find. I'm going to call this 00. Uh-oh. Okay. Now, we can add this to our panel here. Now, depending on your settings, you may have the panel across the top. I like it on the side. And we're going to right-click on an empty portion of the panel, and we're going to select to configure toolbars, and you'll see that I've got a bunch of things already in here, okay? And you'll also notice I have an effect here called 00. So you would just search for that item, press it, and then arrow over, and then there it is, okay? You press apply. The screen is going to dance a little bit, and now you'll see your effect is here. So let's remove this effect, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So now we've got our clip selected. We can click on this now, and it automatically applies our effect for us. So it's an excellent time saver. Another feature that many of you may want to use, especially if you're collaborating, is the Notepad function. And I've got a Notepad right here. And this is where I can put different things, all right, such as annotations. So let's move our cursor to this point. Okay, and we can right-click here. We can select Insert or Current Time Code and then name it. Okay, well, this part probably needs work. And then you can put a guide on the timeline so that your collaborator can find it. And you can right-click on this and select Add Guide, and then name it Needs Work. Okay. We'll move our cursor over here. You're going to see there's now a blue line here, all right? Let's right-click in this area, and let's say insert a new time code here, and perfect. So we typed in perfect there. All right, and we're going to right-click here and add that guide. We're going to do the same thing, name that perfect as well. So now the person collaborating with you on this project will be able to see your guides, okay? And you can click on these timeline things and it'll move the cursor here to where it needs to be. Pretty neat little feature. And this is something I've never covered before on the show, so I hope some of you guys find that useful. All right, well, I really don't need this, so I'm going to go ahead and backspace out of this and get rid of that. I can right-click here, and I can delete all guides, get rid of them. We really don't need those at this point. Now, in file management, there's a number of things you can do here. You can add clips, add color clips, slideshow clip. We'll get to that in a little bit. You can add a title clip, and I've already covered the titler before. You can add a template tile, create folder, and then use online resources to get media. And I've actually covered these previously. You can also right-click on clips here, and you can do some different things with them, such as, you can extract the audio as a WAV file. You can transcode this clip into a different file format if you need it, and there are a number of options that are available to you here. There are a number of clip jobs. So, for instance, let's say you have a piece of video that you had a shaky camera. Well, you can use this to try and stabilize the video, and unfortunately I don't have a clip where I could demonstrate this, otherwise I'd show it to you. But you have this available to you. You can even reverse clips, which I think is really neat. You can reload clips. This is very handy if you change its aspect ratio on the timeline, but then you drag the clip again from the clip folder here. By reloading clips, what this will do is, if you change a property here on the clip area here, it will apply itself to every instance of it on the timeline. So that's very handy as well. You can also go to clip and timeline. You can set to a specific... so let's go ahead and move this clip here, and then right-click on that clip again, clip and timeline, and you can basically go to the start. This is very handy if you're doing effects on the effect channel. So you need to get to that 0 mark so that you can maybe adjust the alpha quality and that sort of thing, as I demonstrated in the last video. You can also go into clip properties here, and you can see a bunch of information about the clip, the audio it's using, markers that you have already set, metadata, and advanced. Okay, so you can actually force an aspect ratio. So if you have a video in standard definition, you can force a specific aspect ratio. You can force frame rates and other things. So pretty interesting stuff indeed. Let's go ahead and close this. All right, let's go ahead and delete this here from the timeline, and let's go ahead and make a slideshow. Now, slideshows can be quite fun to do. Let's go ahead and we can add a slideshow clip, okay? And then we're going to select a folder. All right, I'm going to go into and we're going to select OK. All right, and you're going to see there are a bunch of images here that I just picked off the internet, and I figured I'd use this. Now, you want to define a frame duration for your slideshow. So how long each image is going to display. So you can have it set as long as you want. Presently, it's set at 5 seconds. All right, you can have it loop the slideshow if you want to. Center crop the images. You can even set them to dissolve and choose a wipe pattern here. There's also some animation effects that you can use here, such as panning, low pass, pan and zoom with low pass, zoom and low blah, blah, blah. Lots of stuff here. You can even define the softness. But there are a number of wipes here. I love using the wipes the most. And what this will do is it'll apply this to every transition. So let's go ahead and press OK on this. And now we have a slideshow of 1 minute, 15 seconds. All right, and then when we go to play this thing, you'll see that it's using some of the effects that were defined. And of course, playback is going to be a little bit choppy on this. Sometimes I'll uncheck real-time drop frames to get a better preview of what's going on. That is the quick, cut and dry, easy way of doing this. Let's go ahead and stop this now. And I'm going to go ahead and render this file. And for YouTube, I always like H.264. Let's go ahead and call this 1. And let's go ahead and render this thing out. So here's the output of that generated slideshow. And, you know, the image is kind of jerky and everything. You know, it really doesn't look that great, but that's probably because we have too many different effects and stuff applied. So let's go ahead here, and we're going to delete this clip. And let's go ahead and add another slideshow clip this time. We're going to navigate to where our images are again. Okay, and let's choose a different effect. Maybe let's increase the amount of time here for these to display. Let's go with 7 seconds on this. Okay, and then why don't we go with a dissolve effect? You really don't have to have a wipe. We could just have these dissolve, and we'll go ahead and do that one. So we'll press OK. Now we have a new clip showing 1 minute 45 seconds. We're going to drag this to the timeline, and let's go ahead and render this one out. Now, the playback in this one is much better because we don't have a bunch of effects stacked up on top of each other, and this is a pretty good slideshow for most people. But let's say you want to do a slideshow where you have different transitions. Well, you can't do that automatically with this, so we will have to do this the hard way. But really, it's not all that hard. So let's go ahead. I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to add clip here. Or even better, I can just open up my file manager, and I have the slideshow folder here, and I'm just going to drag this over here. And now we have all of these clips ready to go for us. Okay, so let's start by dragging images onto our timeline here. What we're going to do is we're going to create our own custom slideshow. Now, I'm not going to pull all these on because this can be quite a time-consuming process. Let's zoom in a little bit so that we can see what we're doing here. And let's just grab some of these images. Because in this portion, I'm going to cover not only transitions, we're also going to talk about some effects. Yeah, let's open up this guide here. And so if we look in our guide here, pretty much we're covering a little bit more of the timeline here in this, and we're also going to cover transitions and effects. Now, in here, there's an alphabetical list of effects and transitions. There is no way I could cover all of these in this series. So, you may want to refer to this page because this will give you some details on what each of these effects are and what you can do with them. Okay, so pretty much, you know, you've got all these different effects that you can do with this. And I've already covered titles in a previous episode, so we're not going to be covering that here. I've already covered the menu items. And capturing video and audio is something that I'm not going to be covering on this show because I do not have the hardware set up to be able to do that. And this would also require you to install some additional dependencies. So if you're going to be using Kdenlive for capturing video or audio, you will want to read through these. And pretty much I've covered the rest of this in one form or another, as I'll outline later. All right, so back here, sorry for the digression there. Let's go ahead and grab some more clips. We're going to pull these in. And I think this is sufficient for this little demonstration. Now, many of you have seen the fact that I can drag a corner down and you will get a dissolve effect immediately. Now, you will want to do a slideshow this way if you want to have a different transition between individual scenes, plus you might want to add effects. All right, so instead of dissolve, to change that, you'll want to go to wipe. All right, and then you'll want to choose an image file. All right, and then you'll want to scrub the player. You'll notice here that it's not going in the direction we want it, so we may have to actually reverse that transition, and now we have the correct effect displaying. Okay, and maybe for this one we want a dissolve, so we'll just leave that as is. We'll drag this corner down here. All right, maybe we want to do another wipe, so let's go ahead down to wipe here. Let's go ahead and pick a different one, doesn't matter which. Let's make sure it's reversed, because you're reversing when you're going from top down and then unchecked when going from the bottom up. So you want to ensure that you're going to have the correct thing going on. Isn't that cool? That one was really nice. Let's pick out another one here. We're going to click on that transition from dissolve. We're going to pick out something else. Pick out another wipe. Oh, let's try that eyes one and see what we get. Okay, that one was kind of weird, but it is what it is. All right, and then one more transition. Maybe we'll just go with the dissolve. All right, so now we've got a little slideshow going on here. With some different transitional effects. Now, let's go into doing some effects. I'm going to click on this final clip here, and I'm going to go into the fun category, and let's go ahead and make this look like an old film. Well, we can drag a vignette effect on here. All right, that's kind of cool. Let's put some scratch lines, and you know, you can edit these. You can, you know, max darker lines and, you know, whatever. You can give this all kinds of different looks here. You can do the thickness and that sort of thing here. And really get that old film look. Well, you're also going to need old film, so we'll put that on there. Maybe some grain. Some dust. And of course, your old film will never quite look like an old film. And of course, playback is a little choppy here because I need to drop that real time here. But you'll see it's got a nice little shaky feel to that, yeah. Alright, maybe you might want to throw some sepia in there. Alright, now, and you know, we can scroll down here to the sepia, and well, you can change some of the effects of this to get the kind of look you're after. And of course, it does take a good deal of practice on this to, you know, get the right look and feel. But I'm happy with that. Alright, maybe there's some other effects that we might want to do here. You know, we can do different color corrections if you want to, like curves. Drag that onto the Debian clip here. You can change its appearance. You can give it any kind of a look you want. You can change the look of any images, applying a number of effects. Do some pretty cool things here. There's no way I can cover all the effects that are available with this. But the thing is, you know, there are sharpening effects. So if you're converting video from a VHS quality to a sharper quality, this would be a pretty good program to go on. And put a letterboxing effect on this one. There you go. for that nice little cinematic look and feel. Experimentation is key, I always say, when it comes to Kdenlive. All right, let's go to the website here. We're going to have a look at the forum. All right, and if you scroll down to the bottom to where it says Tutorials, here is the Kdenlive workshop. If you have any questions on any of the videos that I've covered in this series, especially for this part, you can click on part 3 and post your questions there. Now, a lot of things that I've covered have also been under prior releases as well. I have gone over creating, titles and all kinds of stuff, how to do chroma keying and getting the best possible key. So these are videos from the prior releases section here you'll want to check out. You must be a member of the forum to download the project files. And yes, this particular project we are working on here does have project files so that you can tear these apart, play with them, and experiment. And that is something I just can't stress enough in Kdenlive. You really have to experiment, to create your own effects and to really get the most out of it. And of course, this topic is the best place for you to go to if you have questions that you absolutely need me personally to answer, because really I don't read YouTube comments. I may read comments a day, 2 at the most, after I upload a video on YouTube, and then I don't even bother to read them. Everybody knows I have a forum here at cupoflinux.com here for giving personalized, answers to people's questions and that sort of thing. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments coming in every day on YouTube. There's no way I can keep track of it, and it's futile for me to do that, because really the meat and potatoes of the Cup of Linux show is here at cupoflinux.com. I am active on here every single day. I'm answering people's questions here at Cup of Linux. I'm interacting with you guys in the chat rooms, and I'm also interacting live with you guys through our voice chat on Mumble. So, and all the instructions for connecting, you just click the chat button, and then there's a link for the instructions for connecting on Mumble, so that you can actually speak to me. I'm on here every day, and so this is where everything's happening. Well, I hope you found this to be useful to you. As a reminder, please consider supporting show hosts who bring you the content you enjoy the most by disabling your ad blockers or shouting some coins. Peace out.